Hey everybody, hope you're having a nice holiday season. We're not coming out with an episode over the holidays because we're taking a break. So instead we've compiled all of our song recommendations so far. Hope you enjoy.
Musicians React.
Before we jump right into it, for the folks that are watching and listening, what's some good shit that they need to check out right now?
There's a new album that's just come out by an Australian artist called Martha Marlowe, and the record's called Medicine Man, and it's phenomenal. It's like Joni Mitchell back in the day when we first heard Joni Mitchell. It's like that with a full orchestra, but it's pop.
I'll be loving you, darling, through the years. Take my hand away.
I'm going to go Benny Sings. I just really love everything he's doing. Production is great. Songwriting is great.
So I'm letting you go, my darling.
I have not stopped listening to Moonchild. They have a song called The Other Side. Specifically, it's just sonically everything that I ever wanted to hear.
I'm going to go with the classic. I've been listening to him for a while. We've talked about him a little bit here and there, but more people need to hear him. Video Age.
Pedal to the metal.
I really like Jack Antonoff's new band Bleachers with the song Chinatown featuring Bruce Springsteen.
Man, I was listening to Andy Schaaf last night, and just sonically, the tones that he's getting, and the songwriting's cool. I've been really inspired by that.
She laughs at me, says, what was that supposed to be? I say, I'm sorry, I'm from a different part of the country.
I've been listening to John Prine. I've just been like starting from the beginning of Prine, and I'm reminded right now of a song called Living in the Future.
We are living in the future. I'll tell you how I know. I read it in the paper 15 years ago.
Big Thief.
Yes, favorite band.
Really?
Wow,
It's your
cool.
favorite band?
Yes, love them so much.
Maybe I love you is a river so high. Maybe I love you is a river so low.
For me, Brittany Howard.
Her
I like
solo record?
her solo record.
Yeah.
I am in love.
There's a golden sky.
If you like Silk Sonic, you might also like Parcels. Oof. It's this very funky, almost dry sounding pop funk.
Every eye is on us.
Well, Domi and JD are pretty burning.
One of my favorites, not only because I played on it, but I think it's really cool, is the new Night Game record, which isn't super new, but we did it, and it came out probably quarantine-ish times.
Wading through the vultures in this town. Been stuck in retrograde.
I got one.
What do you got?
Top of mind. His first record just came out. Still Woozy.
It's all over me.
Andy Schaaf.
Oh, yes.
He's a Canadian fellow. He's kind of like, Elliott Smithy.
All of your friends started wondering why you were choking back tears, had an easy goodbye.
Ryan, what's some cool shit that you're listening to before we jump in?
There's a record by Elton John called 11/17/70. It's a radio show that they were playing, live radio show they were playing in New York before they got big, before the Troubadour show, before anyone knew who Elton John was.
I've no wish to be living 60 years on.
My favorite band today is the 1975. So fierce, so fearless, so explosive.
I've really been loving this artist, Charlie Crockett. He writes kind of in the style of like 50s, like honky tonk.
Nice.
And he just has incredible players on his album.
Take the night train to Memphis.
This one you showed me. Midair Thief. Midair Thief's my favorite album of 2018. Songwriter, producer, synth creator. Nobody knows who he is. Total mystery.
Maybe he's in Daft Punk.
Okay, before we jump in, we need a song. Sometimes we do albums or artists. I want a recommendation for a song before we jump in.
A single song?
A single song that you think people at home might not know, but you've checked out the song recently, and it's an earworm. They got to know this song.
I just listened to the new Halsey album that Trent Reznor
Oh,
and
is that
Atticus
good?
Ross produced, and it is really cool.
Our good friend, Rob Humphreys, called me the other day and said, did you know there's a new Beach Boys record out? Did you know that?
Really?
It's like unreleased. I mean, a lot of them were probably recorded here, actually, because I know 2020 was recorded here. Friends, I think, was recorded here.
There's peace in my mind.
In Valentine?
In Valentine.
Wow.
But there's a bunch of like never before released Beach Boys recordings from like the late 60s, early 70s. And I just listened to, I haven't had time to check it out, but I just listened to the first song and it's great.
There's an artist that I think is incredible that maybe people don't really know about. Her name is Gracie Abrams.
I'll be the love of your life inside your head when the night is over.
Cool.
Gracie Abrams. Okay, I'm going to give you Sunday Morning by Margot.
Maroon 5.
No. No, Sunday Morning.
Sorry.
Sunday Morning by Margot, I think her name is Gurion.
Sunday morning, sunshine from your eyes.
60s singer-songwriter.
Cool.
In the style of like Beatles kind of, Carole King kind of stuff, but wrote these great little pop songs that a lot of
Cool.
people don't know about. And the song's called Sunday Morning. It's a great song. I mean, really good composition. She's a special singer-songwriter, but kind of just
And
disappeared.
it's from the era? Like it
Oh,
was
yeah. No,
recorded?
it's like a 60s record. 30 seconds. What's your desert island record? You can only bring one record with you.
Somehow there's a record player with one outlet. It's just floating.
Mono.
Yeah, it's in mono. There's just one speaker there.
Oh, this is really tough.
Desert island record.
Okay, I'm gonna go straight out and say it. I think my desert island record is
Radiohead.
Kid A.
I knew it.
Every time I listen to that record, there's new shit that I hear.
Yeah.
Every single time. It's so complex. The timbres are so interesting. The harmony's so interesting. I feel like I could listen to that record a million times and never get bored of it.
That's a great one.
Actually, mine's real weird. It got me through college. It would be Ralph Vaughan Williams, who's one of the great English composers, and a song of his called The Lark Ascending. When I was in school, I would have headphones on and I would listen to that all the time.
God,
and that
I gotta
would
go
be...
check this out. All right, Nicole, what's yours?
I feel like I analyzed this too hard, but I'm stuck on a desert island. It's got to be something that I can always throw back to and still like, which is all my childhood stuff.
Okay.
Right? So like Bad Fish by Sublime was something I like discovered that I liked
Wow.
bass by listening to that. I would probably regret it once I got there, but right now, thinking about it, I think that would be it. Because like all the memories that come flooding out of something like that.
Okay, just because I would be so depressed to be on a desert island, I would have to say Elliott Smith, XO.
That's the man she's married to now.
You turned me on to this record.
It's a great record.
You
It's
turned me
just-
on to it in high school, and you said, I have your next favorite record. And I said, who is it? And I said, does he have a good voice? And you said, no.
Willy Wonka soundtrack, like pure imagination.
One of the greatest songs of all time.
One of the greatest song orchestrations
Oh my
of
God.
all time.
We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world.
Do you know Lewis Taylor? It blew my mind. His record, his self-titled record, was recorded in the 90s, I think. And he's playing everything, and it's insane.
So come on, won't you let me, baby?
My most listened to record is
Skrillex.
Impressions for Headphones by Brian
Oh.
Green. This record puts me in a zone. It's like, it makes me feel like I'm driving through the rain, and it's beautiful. It's a feeling the whole way through. It's lo-fi. It's gorgeous.
I love that record.
It's a great
And
record. Before we get into it, I want to know a record or a song or an artist that you're just starting to listen to who is blowing your mind, who you think folks at home should check out. I'll start.
Oh.
I'm a big Pointer Sisters fan. I think the Pointer Sisters is awesome.
Interesting.
They're awesome. But when I think of the Pointer Sisters, I think of that hit record from the 80s with Jump on it. But the Pointer Sisters were making records all through the 70s. A decade of incredible 70s funk music.
This is very not this.
Right.
But yeah, there was a Meshuggah record, and I couldn't. It hit a section of the song that was like a 4 or 5 minute section of the song, and I couldn't believe it was like a Samuel Barber arc on it, but super like fusion-y.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where my head is.
That
at.
got you.
The Stooges.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's hitting me so hard, but the rawness, the guitar playing, just a raw, powerful sound, and I love this. I love the singing voice too, and I don't know. That's just something that, and it influenced. It was really some of the earliest sort of roots of metal, I think.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch a documentary?
Yes, I watched the Jim Jarmusch documentary about Iggy Pop and the Stooges.
Yeah.
Iggy and the Stooges reinvented music as we know it.
I don't know if this is actually my last holy shit moment, but it was a profound one. Judy Sill.
Oh.
And I literally listened to nothing else for a month or two. I was just walking around playing her records over and over again.
Mysteries unfurl and become so clear when I feel you near.
What's a great soundtrack you've heard recently that you love that folks at home should listen to?
So we're gonna
soundtrack.
obviously we're gonna talk about John Williams today. So I'll save the John Williams for the John Williams conversation that we're about to have. But you can't be talking about some of the greatest film composers of all time without talking about Hans Zimmer,
Okay.
who I also love. And I recently saw, as I'm sure many, many people did, I saw Dune. It introduced so many cool concepts, many Middle Eastern sounds, but also utilizing things like bagpipes for, just this incredible sort of meld of styles that was super cool to hear.
Okay, Jack, favorite score.
Gosh, I've been getting so into Johan Johansson. The soundtrack for Arrival is what got me into Johan Johansson. There's just some really cool sound design work and melodic work in that soundtrack. I still can't figure out what exactly he's doing to achieve these timbres, but it sounds like the articulation of a string instrument, like a viola, I think. But it sounds like it's speaking.
I love that score. I totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
The one I was going to say is maybe cheating because I haven't seen this movie, and maybe cheating because I'm pretty sure you turned me on to it. Body Song.
Oh, God, it's so good, Johnny Greenwood.
It gives you a strong sense of like what Johnny Greenwood's unique voice sounds like, and you listen to Radiohead differently. Anyways, Body Song. I have a question for the crew.
Yeah.
Favorite bass players. Don't think too hard about it. Who are your desert island bass players if you could only take a few bass players to the island with you?
Wow, great question.
Well, I feel like I'm constantly changing as a person, but right now, Derek Hodge is who I'm obsessed with. It's like he's a very jazzy R&B, and he's super melodic. He has his own original stuff, but then he's also, all the bands he plays with is just like tasteful. And choosing your moments, like wizardry in those moments.
And Nicole, early on, was there a bass player that made you want to play bass?
No, there wasn't. See, I feel like I always answer this question. I always feel like I'm the only person who gives this answer. When I was coming up and like learning about bass, it was like songs, you know what I mean, and lines that really like constructed me. There was never, I was like that one kid who didn't do any research. I chose my songs that I loved and I learned them, and then I moved on to a new song. I never was like, who's on bass here? Never did that.
Interesting.
That's great.
And is it?
It is really great. No, I think that's really great. To fall in love with the part and the instrument rather than the person.
Yeah.
You can go back and learn it later,
and
but
now
to find
it's a
something that gets your
different
juices
story.
flowing.
Yeah.
Lee, was there someone for you that you saw that made you want to play the bass?
Nicole.
I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
I just have a.
Nicole was negative 45 when you were.
Easily. No, I was influenced by everybody that I was listening to as I went back and discovered everybody from Ray Brown to Jamerson to Carol Kay.
What's going on? Hey, what's going on?
All these people that had all these amazing parts in it, and then as I played more and more, I would discover the Jack Bruces and the Entwistles.
She was kind in the hard
All these different people, and and I still hear people all the time. I did a thing at Berkeley, and I was hanging with the guys from Tool.
Nice.
And you're just sitting there looking at the extremes of what the instrument can have going on. So I kind of find myself really affected by everybody who touches the instrument. If somebody that's only been playing 6 months might do something where you go, God, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that in years. And
that's so cool.
So kind of a little of everything.
Who is your favorite female vocalist right now? So we're going to go around the horn. Favorite female vocalist.
Female vocalist.
Right now. Not of all time, just
not of all time.
the first one that comes to your mind. Who have you been digging?
Jasmine Sullivan. She's wonderful. Right now.
She's from Philly.
Yeah, she's
from
extraordinary.
Philly.
She's really great. Yeba is also amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's a really mean question to ask singers.
Of singers, yeah.
It just
Because
is.
you're
I
gonna
can't
get-
even answer it.
You're going to
Actually.
get
You see
a
what I'm
million,
saying?
You're
I
gonna
can't
get a million
answer
comments
it.
from people
If
that
you're
you
gonna
didn't
ask me
say.
my favorite singer, I can't even answer that.
Because it's like
they're
right
male
now,
and female, and there's so many that I love. I would be, if I said one, I'd feel really like I was slighting the others.
And there's like ones that you might not know as well.
Exactly. My favorite male right now,
Yeah.
Gregory Porter.
All day.
Yeah.
You know who I'm really into recently? Not so recently, I love past 5 years, I guess. Is it Brittany Howard? Who's
Yeah.
the lead singer?
Amazing.
Cause I know what love means. I don't need
Yeah.
She's
Oh
incredible.
my
Yeah.
Wow. Her
Yeah.
lead, her in concert, it's awesome. Next level.
Also, do you guys know Lizzie McAlpine?
I've shared too much in and out of wanting less. Now you're fading, and I wonder.
By any chance?
I don't.
Her voice is incredible.
She's
In a real
she's so
cool
fire.
way.
She's 22.
But that's
brilliant.
what I'm saying. Like we could go. This list
There's a
is
lot.
just so.
We
There's
could go on.
There's a lot.
What is a Christmas album or holiday album or song that you think is underrated that people ought to check out?
Charles? Boy, you guys just dropped this one on me. Yikes. Boy.
That's a tough
Do you listen to holiday music?
I'm going to go with She and Him. The
Oh, that's a
Christmas
great
record
one.
From She and Him.
That's a great one.
I'll be home for Christmas.
You know, I don't think that Bing Crosby's version of Mele Kalikimaka gets enough attention.
Mele Kalikimaka is a thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day.
Okay, I don't know if I'm even supposed to talk about this, but I'm going to use this platform to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart, which is Johnny Bowtie Barstow.
Was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay.
Yeah, and I'll just leave it at that.